So we're going to talk about kids in chiropractic, and one of the things that brings up this conversation are just general questions that people have about chiropractic and why kids actually would get adjusted. I would start off simply by telling you that the world is a little bit different now than it used to be, and we have to be raising our children a little bit differently. So for me, I try and do something proactive to make sure I'm taking care of the kids and giving them an option other than simply drugs or neglecting issues that are going on in their body or in their life. But a lot of patients ask, and people ask, why do kids get adjusted? You know, how do you even adjust a child? I don't know if people have asked you those questions being pregnant. I know that those questions definitely come up. So one of the conversations that we have is going through why in the world would you ever adjust a child to begin with? You know, what is it that an adjustment's really doing? So we'll go through this conversation, and I'm going to take it all the way around to things that I would tell you to absolutely look for when a child is getting adjusted, when a child needs an adjustment, when you know a child is healthy and when you know the child is not. But I would just tell you that the spine is the very first part of a baby that it's ever built. So within 4 days of conception, the body starts to build the spine. And then that complexity builds until it can start building the other organs in the body. And those organs now run and keep you healthy. And they depend on the nerve system to get the ability to function like they're supposed to. So if your spine built your body, and the spine's protected by bones, and not the strongest bone, but 24 little bones, and those bones are built to move, then it ought to make sense that moving those joints are going to be really important to keeping the spine healthy. And if the spine runs you, then the health or the ability for the spine to work correctly is based on how well the joints are going to move. And since your spine is made of electricity and electricity flows through nerves, like blood flows through an artery, then the amount of movement or motion in the spine dictates how the nerve system is going to work. So if you get stuck, if a joint gets stuck, it's going to decrease how healthy or how well your nerve system is going to work. And that's impactful for an adult just as much as it is for a child, because the spine is no different from the day you're born to the day you die. You have 24 joints and they all move, and when they move, they change the electricity. So how you work, how you heal, it's all based on your nerve system. So there's nothing more important to check in your body. Nothing. Not even the heart, not your toes. Nothing more important than checking your nerve system. Because if your nerves work well, your body has the ability to stay healthy. And if your nerves don't work well, like we'll talk about, then you're vulnerable to getting sick. People always talk about getting sick. Okay? You don't get sick, you do sick. And you do things that make you more likely to get sick. Picture, this is how we used to raise kids. This was a commercial about what we used to give kids. It's sick. What's sick about this commercial, I mean, it's soda to a baby. What's sick is that what we give children today is no different.
Right, exactly.
It's got a different label on it, but it's no different. If you read the label on formula, it matches a candy bar.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the ingredients. It's disturbing. Recommended by doctors, professionals.
And they're still marketing to children and babies just in much more subtle ways.
20 years from now, we're going to look back at the same commercial. It'll have a different product, and we're going to be just as appalled because we understand the difference. When this commercial was made, no one was appalled by this commercial. People thought, oh, yeah, I love that soda. It's great. They didn't think about the consequence. We're in a different place. Not a better place, a different place. Because we still feed things to children that they should absolutely not be eating. But today we'll stick to chiropractic. Many of us are socializing and not considering our health until symptoms appear. What does that mean? What's that mean? I love it.
Like we don't understand like what we're eating until we realize that like we're gaining too much weight.
Perfect. That's awesome. Good job. What else?
Oh, until you become diabetic, for instance.
Right.
Or you have a heart disease.
I was just diagnosed with heart attack. I just had a heart attack. I was diagnosed with heart disease. So now I'm going to change my behavior.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Right.
I'm going to eat right after
Right.
60 years of not.
So most people depend on symptoms, but you don't suffer from symptoms. Symptoms are your body's attempt at trying to fix a problem. Like if you have a rock in your shoe, your foot will really hurt. You don't suffer from the pain. You don't want a pain pill. You don't take the rock out. So if you confuse the fact that you think symptoms are a problem, then God bless you, you spend all your time and money trying to fix the symptom. When in fact, all you really need to do is figure out what the actual cause is and address that. It's much cheaper. But we use cartoons. You're so silly. We use cartoons to talk about issues that really We're trying to sell people to think that you have to get rid of the mucus. You suffer from this dude living inside your body. When if a germ really made you sick, you'd be sick everywhere. It wouldn't just be in the nose or the sinuses. It wouldn't just be in the throat or the chest. It would be all of them simultaneously because they're all connected. So it's more of vulnerability in the body that allows for these things to take root. And they'll sometimes be in the nose, they'll sometimes be in the throat, they'll sometimes be in the lungs or the chest. But they're never simultaneously. All places. They're going to be in the place where your nervous system is the most susceptible. So when we come back to children, the question is asked, why is it you check kids? What is it you're looking for? What's wrong with kids that would need to get checked? So I have a little video for you. You're going to make it big. 19 seconds for you. Just end of a show. Just what happens to kids. Oh wait, it gets worse.
Oh.
Or grandmas.
Oh no.
So, what do you do when that happens? What do most parents do when their children fall? What's your reaction? Come on, call it out. You've all been there.
Oh my God, are you okay?
Are you okay? Right? Nothing major, nothing big. We brush them off. We pick them up. Okay? Most kids, research shows, most kids fall 5,000 times. 5,000 times by their 5th birthday. And 5 of them are usually really bad. So if you're not getting your kids adjusted, then you're allowing 5,000 impacts and falls to simply exist in their body. And you're not doing anything to take care of it or to treat it. Icing it is not going to help. Giving an anti-inflammatory is not going to get rid of the problem. You don't suffer from those things. Those are the symptoms. But most kids fall 5,000 times. Parents probably picked you up, brushed you off on the backside, and said you're okay. Kids on a swing goes back, kid falls off, lands pancake fly on the ground. Oh, you're okay. Come on, go ahead. We don't really do anything to fix it. We just brush them off. So I want you to know there's a lot of things you can do differently than just brushing them off. You can actually get them checked. So as a chiropractor, I check their spine to make sure that all those joints, all 24, move like they're built to, move like they're supposed to. Because when they do, then your body works like it's supposed to. If you let that problem stay in the body, it turns into a chronic illness.
Mm-hmm.
Chronic illness. How many Americans do you think suffer from chronic illnesses?
A lot.
A lot. That's a good number. You're about right. Okay? How about bad joints in the body? How many Americans do you think have bad joints?
A lot.
Like most of the population.
Like most? A lot. Right. We did about 600,000 joint replacements in America last year. Most people would say we're getting really good at doing them. I would ask what are we doing to the joints that's making them all go bad? Picture, what is it that we're doing so wrong that joints are wearing out long before your DNA should? You're not programmed for your joint to wear out. That's an injury that's happened that nobody fixed, that chronically developed to the point where we had to replace it completely. It's crazy. It's hugely expensive. There's a much better way of taking care of your body. Okay? So ask better questions. We talked in the cholesterol talk, just slide up on the Facebook page, but we did the cholesterol talk, and we talked about healthcare costs and what this is costing America. Okay? Chronic illness, chronic disease. Okay? Chronic illness like heart problems, cardiac stroke, diabetes, obesity, arthritis. Okay? $400 billion we're spending. And this, by the way, was back in 2006. So you can just imagine what the money is being spent now. It's probably double. Okay? $400 billion every year. Every year. And this is what's going to make us go bankrupt. And I'm telling you, these things are preventable. They're chronic illnesses. They're things that you can change. They're lifestyle dependent. And based on how you live your lifestyle dictates how these things will affect you. You can avoid them completely. Change your lifestyle. So the question is, what are you doing with your lifestyle? What are you teaching your children? How are you teaching them to take care of themselves? And how are you teaching them so that they grow up and live a different lifestyle than if they don't know these things, what that'll turn into? Your spine, like I said, is made of 24 joints that are all built to move. And moving the joints generates electricity that courses through the nerves that goes to all the different body parts. And maintaining that keeps you healthy. Which is why the Harvard study that came out a year or two ago proved that a sedentary lifestyle kills you 7 years early. If If you're sedentary, not moving like the windmill on the farm, you're not generating any electricity. So how much greater cost and how your body's going to age and break down. So you want to do different things than what average lifestyles have been for people. You want to live your life a little bit differently. You want to empower your children. You want to teach them how to be well. So you want to eat naturally and buy locally. What does that mean? What's it mean? It's what? Healthy. Nice answer. I like that. What else what were you going to say?
Like if it's the middle of winter, you really should not be buying like plums or like peaches.
That's
Seasonal.
That's the deep end. Seasonal. They're awesome.
Organic.
So eating more naturally, eating for where your environment is, the more your body works on the inside to match what's outside, your body's going to be healthy. That's an amazing answer. That's right. Also, you want to avoid toxins. Wow, it just switched so automatically for you. Avoid toxins, okay? Toxins are everywhere, right? You can put your hand under a black light and look at the germs on your hand. And people tell you to scrub all those germs away. I'm going to tell you there's trillions of germs in your environment, and your inside body is designed to match the outside. And unless you're living in a very unclean, unhealthy place, germs aren't bad for you. Okay, but if you look on the earth in the world where the diseases are rampant, they have water issues. They've got cleanliness issues. In America, much better job. So due to sanitation and refrigeration and things, your body's going to be much better off. If you go crazy trying to kill all the germs, you're going to create other problems in your life. And you're so worried about killing all the germs on their hands, think about what your kid does next. Okay?
Oh, that's cute.
That's the tongue. And it's not the pigs. Okay? So picture where your kids are, because germs are only a part of the environmental toxins that you have. A lot of these things didn't exist when we were kids. Cell phones, drinking sodas, sitting around with poor posture, all those things break down the body and they age the body. And they cause it to not work as well. So you want to avoid toxins and artificial ingredients and things. You also want to make sure you teach the kids to exercise. Okay, keep moving. The body in motion stays in motion. Motion is lotion, and it keeps your body healthy. It helps your mind and your heart. Helps everything. Okay? You also want to encourage happiness. How you think is just as important as how you move and what you eat. All those drug commercials that talk about making sure that if diet and exercise aren't enough for you, they're usually enough. People just don't do it enough. But they're a part of the game. The other part is probably even more important, is encouraging happiness. There's a great quote. I love this quote. In terms of happiness. This is for you. Okay? When I was 5 years old, how old are you? 5. When I was 5 years old, my mom always told me that happiness was the key to life. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wrote down happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment. And I told them they didn't understand life. Okay? Find happiness. Pursue happiness. Happiness is very important for your body. So make sure you teach your children about happiness, because it's really critical in terms of making sure that from their mindedness inside that their bodies are really healthy. And lastly, get enough rest. Get enough rest to grow and to heal. For a child, that's different than an adult. For littler children, they need the naps. And then a good bedtime. They need to be quiet. They need to be restful. They need a pattern of consistency. Yes?
Me and Lillian always nap.
You and Lillian always
Oh,
nap.
you lucky
That's
ducks.
great. Okay, the hardest thing about kindergarten that goes all day. The hardest
You'll
thing.
get a nap. I was sleeping in the sleeping bag.
Even in
You
a
can
sleeping
also
bag.
sleep in the sleeping bag.
There you go. So you can make it fun, but make sure you take time to rest.
Mom, zip it up.
Zip up.
She zippers it up. That's to keep you in and safe. But make sure when you take your nap and when you rest, that you're recharging your battery. You're recharging how your brain really works, and it's your nervous system you're recharging. And that's why it's important. Just like your cell phone, it doesn't take 8 hours every single time. If you overuse your battery, you need a lot more sleep. Your amount of sleep you need is truly proportional to how drained your battery is. And if your body's working well, you don't nearly need as much. Okay? So if I can teach you anything, it's that I just want you to ask better questions. Because the level of care you're going to get is going to be proportional to the questions you ask. So if I ask you what the most important part of an infant is, I want you to know it's the spine, because it's the very first part ever built. And if you ask the question, how do I keep my baby healthy? It's a much different question than what do I give my baby when they're sick. What do I do to keep my baby healthy? It's going on autopilot here.
Really?
Then how you keep your baby healthy is by doing things that are going to ensure that you improve the environment that the baby's in, and you empower. You give your baby sufficient amounts of nutritional things and reduce the toxins in the environment. You want to create sufficiency of good things and less deficiencies in their life, and you want to get products that are going to make them healthy. There's a lot of things you can do that you can change in your life. There's products. It's called Monster Spray. Love the Monster Spray. Not that I use it all that often on my children, but it's a good spray to help them clean up their environment. And baby creams. A lot of people don't ask any of the questions about the products and what's in their products. So if you're going to buy things for your kids, definitely turn them around. Read the ingredient labels. I always tell them if it's food, and one of the first 3 ingredients is sugar, put it back. If you get your food through a window of your car, it's not really food. Make sure you're making choices for your family for their health, because as they grow, you're basically embedding things they eat and the chemicals they're in into all parts of their body. Right? If you can put a patch on your skin to keep you from getting pregnant, and you can put a patch on your skin to keep you from smoking, and whatever you put on your skin goes to every cell in your body. So you want to be very cautious and careful about the ingredients that you're bringing into your environment, because in the shower, all those ingredients, in the bathroom, all those ingredients, there's a ton of ingredients people use, and they use on their children, and you have to make sure that they're clean and pure, or you're introducing toxins to their life that have a consequence, and it adds up. So through chiropractic, we talk about what choices you can make for your family and how to reduce stress and lifestyle problems. For you, I would want you to think about the times that it's most important to get your child checked. Because I don't adjust every child, but I definitely want to check them. And when I check, I want to make sure that every joint in their spine is moving appropriately and correctly. And that their body, from their tummy, their digestive system, their arms, their legs, all the joints and parts of the body are working well. There are some more critical times to check that than other times. So they're going to fly at you here. But birth is obviously one of the most important times to get a baby checked. And then when they go through transitions in terms of stages of life. So the most traumatic thing you're ever going to go through in your life is birth. Being born. As hard as it is for mom, I'll have to tell you, ladies, as hard as it is to have a baby, I think it's easier end of the deal than being born. But being born is designed to be that way, and it does a lot of things that are natural and essential for life in programming and setting the physiology of the body. So it's a necessary strain on the body. But you want to make sure that when the baby goes through all that stress, that you check to make sure that they're aligned right, that the joints are moving correctly, that there's no issues with the shoulder and the head rotation. And if by chance the doctor had to assist and help with that delivery, helping is a pulling motion where the baby's built for a compression. So any pulling is going to do something that's not necessarily good for the body, any more than you wouldn't hand someone the baby by holding it on the head. Same strain, same pressure, same stress. So you absolutely want to make sure that the joints in the neck and the spine are working normally. Sitting is big because that's the first time in life that your spine goes from being horizontal to vertical. And under that compression, the head weighs at that point literally about half the weight of the child. An infant's head is disproportionately large to their body. So to be able to sit takes literally about 6 months of nerve development to get to that point. But now the spine's compressing. And once the spine's compressing, it's important to make sure that it's working and the joints are all moving properly. So that as the baby begins to crawl, crawling is literally the most important developmental stage that a child goes through. Because it's the first real time that the cross coordination of one side of the brain controls one side of the limb here and the same side over here. It's a lot of coordination, and that lays the pattern of development for when a child is walking and then running. And so laying this point in the development, that foundation, is a really critical time. So making sure that as the joints and the hips and the crawling pattern is normal, that's what we check. And then when they walk, when they stand up and they're cruising around, that's when they begin falling. So 5,000 falls by the 5th birthday, and hopefully they don't fall at all before they're about 10 months old. But when they fall, what do they normally do? I mean, they little tumble over, or are they falling off of a chair, off of a couch, off of a bed, down the stairs of a jungle gym, off of a swing, off of a bicycle. Yes.
I always fall off bed. I always fall off a bed. And Mom always put a pillow by me.
That's right. Put a pillow by you. Because you're in a big girl bed, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens. Yes.
Just like I fell on my 2-year-old.
You're following your two-wheeler. It's tough learning to ride a bike,
Oh,
right? It's tough to ride a bike, but you learn to do so
And
full.
I'm not.
Just like when
And
you
mind
put me
you,
on
I-
me, I fell off there and went
Okay.
backwards.
That's what happens.
And I landed in the tree.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, yes!
So to finish this up on time, ills and spills happen. You can't avoid them in life, okay? But what you do next is really critically important because spills happen. So you want to make sure they get checked. If they fall off a two-wheeler and they're learning to ride a bike, get them checked. Make sure you check the wrist and the elbow as much as the spine and the neck. Well, you want to check for things because ills and spills, they're going to happen. They're a fact of life. But not all the symptoms that we are trying to treat are necessarily things that are bad for a child. So if you have a fever, 102.5, that's a typical fever point. Your body goes to 102.5 because at a higher temperature, your immune system works better and bacteria and viruses are weaker. Studying for 6th grade science class, you came across all the different parts of a cell.
The lysosomes.
Lysosomes, nice.
The bacteria.
What's a lysosome do? Any idea?
Yeah.
What's it do?
The bacteria that's creating the viruses.
Kills the bacteria, okay? Kills the viruses. So you've got cells in your body that actually go out and kill foreign stuff. And they work better at a higher temperature, which is why your body goes to 102.5. It doesn't do it by accident. It's home court advantage. And as much as no professional team will ever give up home court advantage, 102.5 is your immune system's home court advantage. That's where it works better. So you're perfect. Lysosomes actually work a lot stronger in your cell. And the white blood cells outside in your bloodstream work a lot better at 102.5. How about a runny nose? You want to stop a runny nose? How many people do you hear stop a runny nose? Right? If you have sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, what do? Do you take something to stop that process? Because what's in a runny nose? What's running? Mucus. And what's in mucus besides that dude with the suitcase? What's in mucus? I know, right?
Germs.
Germs. So if you stop a runny nose, if you stop the germs, then you're keeping the germs inside your body. Does that make any sense?
No.
But everyone doesn't. And most people are chronically ill. Remember? So how about a cough or a sneeze? I'll tell you, coughing and sneezing is very healthy. Because it's changing your physiology. It's getting a solution for your body when it's in a state of sickness.
When you cough, it's getting out like all the bad stuff. When you sneeze, you're able to get all that stuff out too.
Which is why everyone's so worried and tells you to cover it, right? So it's a ton of germs in there, and it's your body's way of getting rid of it. It's beautiful. Don't suppress it. Allow it to work. Just control it, okay? There you go. Good cover. That was nice. Right on cue. That was perfect, okay? They're all healthy signs that the immune system is doing its job to rid the body of germs and create health, okay? Let it do its job. Let it work, okay? So key factors in keeping kids healthy, what you give them in terms of food and water. I can't tell you how many kids I say don't drink water. It's horrific. It's like watching them drink the soda. Just give them water. It's what they're designed to drink. Every cell in the body is designed to have water. Yes? You're only supposed to have water. That's right. You can drink other things, but water's the best. And make sure the food grows. Okay? What you teach your children to think about and how well they sleep reduces their mental stress. So give them a chance to relax, unwind, think positive thoughts. It makes a huge difference on how their body works. Okay? Make sure the environment's clean. Like I said, the sickest places on the planet all have things in common. They're polluted. So make sure your body inside isn't polluted, and make sure the environment you live in isn't polluted. Watch the chemicals that you are introducing and putting on their skin, or they're showering and standing in. When you put essential oils on the body, one of the best places to put them is on the feet, because you absorb everything through your feet. So if you're having chemicals in your shower or chemicals that are going on the body and then they're standing in them, you're absorbing all of that into your body. So make sure you make better choices for your family. Watch out the electromagnetic fields, the cell phones, a lot of research out there, a lot of conflicting information. Just know keeping something that can talk to the other side of the earth next to your head, probably not a great idea, especially for little ones. And make sure when they're on the phones or the devices that they're not sitting like this, having tech neck. Make sure they come all the way up and sit up straighter. Puts a lot less strain on the back of their body and their shoulders and their neck. And make sure that they are moving properly. That's what adjustment does. Adjustments help improve how the nerve system communicates. The conversation between your brain and your body, when it works, you're healthy. And when it doesn't, you'll express symptoms, you'll be sick. So you want that to work better Because the better your nerve system works, the better your body's going to function. And then just have a reaction regimen that you know what to do when your children get sick. Because the more you can keep them healthy, the less major concerns you're going to have in life. I want to live in a world that's got the most amazing hospitals. And I want the opportunity to never have to bring my children there. Yes.
When I get sick, I get adjustment.
You are amazing. And that's awesome. And how's that feel?
Good.
You're great. Yes.
Mommy put essential oil on my feet yesterday.
You had essential oil on your feet yesterday. And how'd that feel? Did it tickle?
Yeah,
It did?
because you used to do it when I was 4 too.
When you put oils on the body, they go into the body and they absorb and they go to every cell in your body. Your blood is water. So oils help to protect all the cells. All the cells are encased in oil. So the more that you can use essential oils, they help to promote how the cells themselves work. And the cells communicate through oils. And you either promote healing, anti-inflammatory, or you promote inflammation in the body, which is a hallmark of sickness. And all that happens through the oil. So what oils you introduce to your body dictate whether you're going to be healthier and have a healthy environment, or you're going to be sicker and have a sick environment. So make sure you choose well, because I can adjust this infant as easily as I can a 5-year-old, or a 12-year-old, or a 25-year-old, or a 45-year-old, or a 90-year-old. I'll use different tools. You get an activator? I'll use different tools and instruments. And as much as I would on a 90, 95-year-old, I would on an infant use an instrument that vibrates. And this moves the joint I'm touching. It causes a change. Are you literally leaving right? It causes a change in how the nerve system is going to work, because this vibration changes the alignment of the joints. And that is enough to cause a major change in an infant's body. And if there's a local problem, I can use this. I don't know if you've ever had a pubic bone adjustment, but it's a huge difference when you're pregnant and the pubic bone is not aligned right. It makes a huge strain in the body. So there's different ways of adjusting different parts of the body. And sometimes I use a regular adjustment for older spines, but for little spines, it's a little adjustment. It's very light, and oftentimes the infant will sleep through the adjustment. Last question? Yes?
You always adjust us when you first get home before dessert.
That's right. That's right. One most important thing to do for you.
Or before
You're awesome.
bed.
So I appreciate your time. Obviously,
Thank you.
find out a lot more information, any questions or concerns, just visit our homepage, give us a call. Talk to me during adjustment. But absolutely, one of the most important things you can do is get your children checked. So, thank you for your time.